On his journey to save his childhood friend, Zelda, the hero of the Minish must obtain 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and wind in order to forge the Pikoyi blade into the 4th sword to defeat the Wind Mage, Vati, and stop his schemes to steal Zelda's life force. As Link sets off, he goes to various locations, one of them being quite striking, the Castor Wilds. It's an area inhabited by various monsters, released after Vati unlocked the seal placed on them by the Hero of Men. Upon gaining golden kinstones for 3 statues, Link also gains access to the Wind Ruins, known for previously being inhabited by a tribe that trained for the mastery of the wind, the Wind Tribe. And upon more exploration, Link finds the game's 3rd dungeon, the Fortress of Winds. This dungeon is quite treacherous, but through Link's courage and perseverance, he's able to defeat the Guardian, Mazal, and obtain the Ocarina of Wind. Not the element he was looking for, but it would still prove useful in traversal. Even though the Wind Tribe still exists, their history prior is quite elusive. You don't really know much about them besides the fact that they used to reside in the Wind Ruins and claim ownership of the Fortress of Winds, along with having the wind element in possession, only abandoning their location after understanding the wind and departing for the skies. But what if there's a significant purpose to the Fortress of Winds? Why was it built? And with this discussed, could this shed light on the Wind Tribe's history? For starters, the Wind Tribe seems to have had the wind element for a very long time. As it said, the Fortress of Winds is where it was housed, meaning that they've had it ever since settling on the surface. The name of this dungeon can also give us a glimpse into its purpose. It's called the Fortress of Winds. A fortress is defined as a strongly fortified military stronghold. This would make a lot of sense considering a war was fought against armies of evil until the Hero of Men ultimately sealed the monsters away within the bound chest with the Pikoyi blade gifted by the Minish. And you might ask, but how would the monsters cross? Isn't Castor Wilds a swamp? In present times, yes. However, swamps are formed from lakes, ponds, or shallow bodies of water, meaning that maybe in the far past, Castor Wilds wasn't even a swamp, but a beautiful, serene area with a lake to boot. In fact, we even see normal bodies of water in the swamp in the present time, like diamonds in the rough. It's likely that after being abandoned, things began to become overgrown, plants began to die, and the water level lowers, causing Castor Wilds to become a swamp. Monsters probably began invading the Wind Ruins, and the citizens began to flee into the Fortress of Winds, while simultaneously protecting the wind element. Even though we see the fortress in quite a decayed state in the Minish Cap, its design feels very booby trap based, with moving platforms that can appear and disappear. In this section here that likely bottlenecked an oncoming horde of monsters. It's also stated that the Wind Tribe constructed Mazal to repel intruders, but it also could have been created to protect the wind element. With this, we can also say that the fortress was crafted for the same reason, a method of security, not only for the tribe, but the wind element. It's confirmed by the stone tablet found behind Mazal that the Wind Tribe did possess the wind element when they were on the surface, as it referred to it as our power. Mazal likely proved to be quite effective due to how advanced the automaton was for its age by the events of the Minish Cap. And so after the Hero of Men sealed the monsters, there was an era of peace. And considering their homes were invaded by monsters, it's likely the Wind Tribe dedicated themselves to mastering the wind, as this peace would allow them to move out of danger, not only for the safety of the tribe, but the elements as well. And once they did master the wind, the tribe took off to the skies, bringing the wind element with them to effectively protect it from anybody due to the fact that it's, well, high in the skies. But that isn't all. We know that the Fortress of Winds experiences a lot of aging from the time the Wind Tribe left to the present day. It's quite evident with the infrastructure of the Wind Ruins and the Fortress of Winds, and additionally the area that the stone tablet lies. This area offers the Ocarina of Winds, but something doesn't add up. If the Wind Tribe knew how sacred the wind element was, hence why they've been protecting it so much. Why would they just leave the Ocarina of Wind down on the surface? I mean, really think about it. This is an ocarina that can transport you anywhere basically, as long as there's a wind crest. Anybody could use that power to access the wind element. And that's because it's possible that the Wind Tribe repurposed their old home as a test of someone worthy of the wind element. Evidence of this is shown through what is inscribed on the stone tablet. Those who come seeking our power must play the notes Zephyr teaches, Zephyr being the bird for transportation when the Ocarina of Wind is played. May they lead you onward to the power that you seek. The wording here is quite general. There's no deliberate mentioning of a hero or a famous figure. It just says those, which could be anybody really. And the second line only supports this notion as it encourages whoever obtains this ocarina to reach the wind element. With this in mind, I believe travelers likely challenge themselves to the Fortress of Winds, but many of them ultimately perished. I mean, why else do we see Stalfos in this dungeon? These very well could have been the travelers that desired the power of the wind element with no success, and despite being dead, the regret and hatred likely reanimated them, similar to the cursed bokoblins from Skyward Sword. Again, I want to reiterate, this is a fortress, and it's designed quite dangerously. Even if an average traveler made it past most of the traps, they'd still have to face Mazal, whose sole purpose was to repel intruders in the first place. Even though this would still be years before the hero of the Minish, it's not hard to believe that other travelers failed to pass through the Fortress of Winds. However, the hero of Minish is different from any ordinary traveler. He possesses a great courage to trek through obstacles that nobody else normally would be able to, like a mountain tumbling down with boulders or having a rainy environment, or a giant choo-choo that, at the size Link was, could very easily kill him. Link was able to succeed where others failed and obtain the Ocarina of Winds to help him in seeking out the wind element. So overall, the Wind Tribe does seem to have quite the history. Here's what I've pieced together in sequence. Long ago, the Wind Tribe were living on the surface. They built the Fortress of Winds and Mazal to counter any invaders and ensure peace of the tribe members and the wind element. During the War of the Bound Chest, enemies began to invade all over Hyrule. Many members of the Wind Tribe fled to the Fortress of Winds, keeping the wind element safe in the process. After the Hero of Men banished the evil into the Bound Chest, peace was restored. However, that invasion led to the Wind Tribe holding their mastery of the wind, and with time, they were able to depart for the skies, taking the wind element along. They left the Ocarina of Wind within their old domain and seek to test travelers for their worth of obtaining the wind element. Many travelers perished, becoming Stalfos as a result, but Link, the hero of Minish, succeeded in this trial, gaining the Ocarina of Wind and setting off for the last elements he needs to forge the Force Sword and defeat Vati. Thank you for watching. This is my first Zelda theory, and I hope I could have portrayed it in a way that's easy to understand. I absolutely love Zelda theories, so I was dying to make my own theory, and this is the topic I wanted to talk about most because Minish Cap is my favorite game of all time. And so, I went digging. I took everything I knew about the game. I went through websites, I went through gameplay. I just wanted to search for absolutely every nook and cranny I could find relating to the Wind Tribe, because they really are a very mysterious group, and even though there's still a good amount of theories on them, I don't think there's that much. But anyways, that's all really. Thank you for watching. I've been Zelda, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao.